And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Thursday, March 1st. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain, and many of the stories we read here can be found at our website at IndianCountryTV.com. And let's get into it. Sheriff deputies and security guards from rivaling factions of a casino tribe were on patrol yesterday and today, soon after a violent skirmish described as absolute pandemonium left 3 people injured. The fight, February 28th, was between supporters of the sitting council of the Chukchansi tribe and a group whose leaders claimed they were denying their rightful place in tribal government after a disputed December election. The tribe owns the Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino in the Sierra foothills near Yosemite National Park in California. Supporters of the rival group say their candidates would overturn the tribe's recent decisions to expel dozens of members. The expulsions cut tribal members from a share of casino profits that can amount to at least $1,000 a month. Critics say the thinning of membership ranks is motivated by greed, a charge that tribal officials vehemently denied. Many expulsions have occurred around the country, but they are particularly numerous in California nowadays, where many tribes reconstitute over the last several decades, then entered the casino business, according to advocates there. The skirmish came after the rival group took over the tribal office on February 27th. About 20 people clashed February 28th outside the tribe's governmental center campus in Corzigold, about 200 miles southeast of San Francisco, California, according to the Madera County Sheriff's officials. A total of about 100 sheriff deputies and other local authorities responded to the scene, which Sheriff spokeswoman Erica Stewart described as absolute pandemonium. 2 people were hospitalized but expected to recover from injuries that include a stab wound. Stewart said 2 other people from the brawl were detained. The rival factions voluntarily left and agreed to stay away for 48 hours to give the Bureau of Indian Affairs some time to do interviews and intervene, according to sheriff's officials. Other casino-owning tribes in the state that have kicked out members include the Palabanda Mission Indians in northern San Diego County. That tribe owns the Pala Resort and Casino and expelled more than 150 people just last month as well. The Navajo Nation has sued Urban Outfitters, Inc. months after the tribe sent a cease and desist letter to the clothing retailer demanding to pull the Navajo name from its products. The lawsuit filed this week in U.S. District Court in New Mexico alleges trademark violations and violations of the Federal Indian Arts and Crafts Act, which makes it illegal to sell arts or crafts in a way to falsely suggest they're made by American Indians when they're not. The tribe has about 10 registered trademarks on the Navajo name that cover clothing, footwear, online retail sales, household products, and textiles. Tribal justice officials say they're intent on protecting what they believe are among the tribe's most valuable assets. President Barack Obama has approved a bill that will allow the Quileute tribe to move its buildings out of a Sami zone on the Washington coast to higher ground in Olympic National Park. Signed into law this week, the bill will transfer 785 acres of the park land to be held in trust for the tribe so it could move out of harm's way. It also settles a boundary dispute between the park and the tribe. In return, the tribe assures access to coastal beaches that are reached by trails through tribal land. The tribe's village in La Push, Washington sits on a coastal floodplain. Its school, elderly center, housing, and headquarters are located in a tsunami zone. The tribe has about 700 members and hundreds live along the Quileute River there as well. A former Muskogee Creek Nation official accused of bilking the government out of more than $2.5 million in cigarette taxes has pled guilty to charges of conspiracy and perjury. Michael P. Wisner II entered the plea this Monday in U.S. District Court in Muskogee. Federal prosecutors accused Wisner of Manderville, Louisiana, of conspiring with a tobacco wholesaler to sell cigarettes in Creek Nation smoke shops at an illegally low tax rate from June 2008 to about December 2009. Wisner was serving as the CEO of the Creek Nation's Department of Trade and Commerce Authority. Last week, District Judge James Payne dismissed charges in the case against Edward Warrington, a former warehouse manager for the tribe's Trade and Commerce Authority. Synthetic marijuana and other merchandise were seized from 4 retailers in a western New York reservation in raids carried out by scores of federal agents recently. Officials with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration told local media outlets that they conducted the recent raids on the Tonawanda Reservation at 4 smoke shops owned by American Indians. Authorities say the raids were prompted by recent local cases of medical emergencies blamed on the pot-like substance, a chemical-coated herb mixture that can have dangerous side effects. There were no arrests at the reservation, which straddles the Niagara, Genesee, and Erie County borders 25 miles northeast of Buffalo. Authorities say the agents also seized tobacco products and clothing and accessories with suspected fake brand names. So we'll have to see what happens with that. An unusual crew of woodworking women has been fleeing with adzes over the past several months as part of the Shakes Island renovation project in Wrangell. The 7-person team charged with the task of shaping 7,000 feet of wood by hand includes 4 female adzers. The Wrangell Cooperative Association, or WCA, which is managing the project, thinks this is the first time that females have been a significant part of an adzing team. Welding and adze is a job traditionally performed only by men in the Quileute culture. Wrangell is unique in its community support and acceptance of women carvers, said team member Vanessa Pazer, who recalled having to go before a panel of elders to explain herself and ask permission to adze. Master carver Wayne Price is leading the international multiracial team of volunteers. A press release updating work in 2011 said the arduous adzing process was halfway done. Chief Shake's house, also called the Tribal House of Bear, has long been a southeastern landmark. The house posts, and associated items have gone through numerous restoration and replacement initiatives over the past century. One of the biggest came when the Shakes Island Tribal House was completed in 1940 in a collaborative effort between the Civilian Conservation Corps, the Forest Service, and the local Quileute tribe. Since then, except for minor repairs, no major reconstruction has taken place to the structure until the present effort. Because the tribal house is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, the replacement timbers must be hand adze. As part of the project, totems have been taken down, inspected, assessed, and where practical, re-erected. Some may be recarved before the project is finished. Last month, Sea Alaska Corporation approved donating 12 logs for the restoration. WCA requested 6 red and 6 yellow cedar logs from the Regional Native Corporation, in addition to logs it had received from the U.S. Forest Service or purchased on its own. Great Lakes Intertribal Councils announced that the Wisconsin's 8th Annual State of the Tribes Address will take place on Tuesday, March 13th at 11:30 a.m. in the Assembly Chamber of the Wisconsin State Capitol. And Ho-Chunk Nation President John Greendeer will be giving this year's address. And that is going to be another roundup of news from Indian Country. On this edition of the Native News Update, we want to say thank you for joining in with us. Miigwech Wawan and Pinigigi, and join us again soon.